My name is Dr. Musa Marena. I'm from the Gambia, West Africa. I am one of the people awarded the Merck Foundation Scholarship to come and study infertility in India, Bangalore, at the Milan Fertility Center. As the first individual trained from the Gambia in infertility, I am among the lucky ones. Fertility training in the Gambia is a huge challenge. As of now, we don't have any fertility center, and we don't have any fertility expert or any embryologist in the country. So it is a huge challenge because most of the women back home would have to see a gynecology for the fertility care that they will receive. So basically that's the huge challenge we have, and luckily for the early intervention of Merck Foundation to award me this scholarship to train at Milan Fertility Center. The challenges faced by most of the women having infertility problems in the country is immense. Usually they will see a general doctor, then later refer to a gynecologist. And the gynecologist basically does the basic investigations for the patients. But when patients need special care, they would have to travel outside the country. It is expensive both for the individual, which most of them can't afford. As in Gambia, like other developing countries, we have a lot of fertility. I mean, the fertility rate in the country is high. So infertility is not considered as a huge problem compared to the number of people who are having the high fertility rate. So basically we are in this, in the term which they say barrenness in the presence of plenty. So we are faced with these obstacles. So most of these women don't receive the care that they will need, both when it comes to policy-wise and treatment-wise. So basically that's what we have. The training usually available when it comes to infertility is basically during the medical school and during your training as a general gynecology. But anything specific like fertility training, specifically focused on fertility, is not available in the country. The other key challenges we have is because of lack of the facilities available, some of the investigations that are necessary in order for you to make a diagnosis are not basically available. Fertility awareness in the country is immense because in the general gynecological clinic we tend to have a lot of patients presenting with infertility, and unfortunately they would have first seen the traditional healers before they come to see the general doctors, then see the gynecologists. So the awareness among the women is immense because of the pressure from the community, from their in-laws, from the husbands. So most of the time the women will present alone at the gynecological clinic. So the awareness is immense among people who are really looking for pregnancy. And the tradition back home is usually when you get pregnant, when you get married, people expect you to be pregnant within a few years. So when they don't, most of the time the women will start seeking care from the gynecologist. But usually they will start with their own traditional treatment at home or go and see traditional healers before they present at the hospital. The social perception of infertility in the country is immense. Like any developing country, basically the woman is always considered to be at fault. And in that situation, when the woman is in a marriage, then there are a lot of pressures from the in-law, from the husband, from the friends, and even people surrounding the individual. So there's immense psychological trauma to the woman and the couple as well, because most of the time the couple, mainly the husband, may be tempted because polygamy is something that is normal in the Gambia. So most of the time the man might be forced to go and marry a second wife. So the woman with those expectations would go all the way out in order to have a child. So there are a lot of consequences of infertility when it comes to marriage, and even there are instances it can even be a conflict between the two family, on the side of the woman and on the side of the man. Me as a trained gynecologist who had some idea or who has received some training on infertility, the Merck Foundation Fertility Training program is a timely intervention, because all the while I have been interested in infertility. So with receiving this Merck scholarship training in infertility at Milan Fertility Center has been a timely intervention for me. And my patients, which I've been seeing over the years, would benefit a lot, because the training has broadened my understanding of infertility and the issues surrounding infertility, not just providing the ability to get pregnant, but also the psychological aspect, the laboratory aspect, and a lot of issues. And also as a trainer, I would use this opportunity or the knowledge that I acquired during this training in order to impact on the young ones, so as for them to have an understanding of infertility like any other gynecological problems. My expectations from the training is to first acquire the knowledge, then the skills, and I would use that knowledge in order to try to develop infertility in the Gambia. The training component includes seeing patients in the clinic, then the laboratory aspect, and the clinical aspect includes investigating the infertile couples, how to investigate the infertile couple, and if you understand the issues surrounding their infertility, then what are the steps that you need to take in order to help them solve this infertility problem. And also some of the issues that we learn includes ovulation inductions, and also how to retrieve the gametes from the woman and manipulate them in the laboratory, which includes ICSI and IVF. Basically, the advanced method that is used in Milan Fertility Center is ICSI, and we learn some of the methods that are used in ICSI, and also we had some of the trainings during the investigation process, which include looking at the tubal infertility and uterine infertility, which include hysteroscopy, laparoscopy, and some of the other issues that we learn from Milan Fertility Center. My plan include first advocacy, because it is important for the people to understand, which include the infertile couples, the general population, and the policy makers, because if there are no policies towards management of infertility, it will be virtually difficult in the public sector. That's one. Two, also to encourage private sector intervention in infertility, because it is important that people understand that infertility is an issue and is a societal problem. So advocacy would be one. Two, advocacy in establishing, not only to have policies, but also establishing infertility centers in collaboration with partners, including private sector, so that we have at least a fertility center. I think it is important to encourage the young ones to venture into the field of infertility, because there's nothing more joyful than seeing a couple who has been desperate to get pregnant over the years finally achieve their goal of having a healthy child, going home with the child they've been looking for. And these are people who have been outcast by society, seen as the untouchable. So I think this alone would be a joy for any gynecologist or any doctor who is willing to help people who are desperate in getting something or to have a child. I think it is important to encourage the young ones. The knowledge would be handed over from the young doctors and those who are aspiring to become doctors, because teaching the medical students would also be part of handing over the knowledge. And even advocacy, talking to the media about infertility, are all geared towards giving the knowledge to people for them to understand that infertility is not an infliction on an individual. It is something that can be solved. Every infertile couple has a solution. It is when they see the right person and go to the right place, they will get what they need, and which is to have a healthy child. I would like to thank Merck Foundation for this opportunity, because it is an opportunity in my own situation, which I got not the usual way of Merck handing out the scholarship, because this was something that I saw online. Then I decided to talk to the president of Merck Foundation, who was so much excited that at last there is somebody who is willing to also be part of the fight against infertility. So she told me that don't worry, you will get the scholarship. And within 2-3 months, I was offered the scholarship. So I'm really grateful to the Merck Foundation for giving me this opportunity to study advanced infertility at Milan Fertility Center.